So we are doing the S through F rankings. We also compare the subjects to Dragon Ball Z characters because we want to, and we give them a label from the Alex Jones rankings that he's given, such as Patriot, Vampire, scared man, and so on, just because we like it. Jared, and we're going to be doing X-Men. We're doing different X-Men characters, and can you tell the people what your criteria that you are going to give grades upon?
Okay, all right. So we're gonna rank them not on how much you like the character or how cool they are or whatever. We're gonna rank them on their philosophical weight, if you will. Actually we'll have like kind of two criteria. Be like, one, how deeply philosophical are they, just period, whether you like it or not, and then two, how much I like their philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll kind of combine that into one.
One score.
Yeah, I'll give them one score based on how philosophical they are, period, and then how much I actually like their philosophy.
Sounds good. All right. The first X-Men that we have is
Cyclops. Also, I could kind of I forgot to mention this. I'll try to kind of put him in a place where I find him philosophically, like maybe like a known philosophy that I would say he subscribes to. Okay, Cyclops, not a very deep philosophical character, but you could say I would say he's a deontological character, very Kantian in his approach to life, very duty based. He's got a very duty based ethics. He does exactly what he's supposed to do always. He never strays from his orders, his duty to the X-Men, duty to Professor Xavier, his goal, his mission. Cyclops is the ultimate duty based X-Men character. And as far as how much I like his philosophy, I like deontology. I like these maxims, and you create these maxims, and you never stray from them ever. Kant said one should never lie, and he gives like a famous thought experiment that, like, if, okay, say you and I are like let's say we're in a house together, you and I,
mm-hmm.
and then some guy comes and knocks on the door, and he's like, I want to kill Steven. Is he in there? And let's say I lie, and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't want him to kill Steven. So I'm like, no, he is not here. And he's like, all right, fine. And then you saw him, and you crawl out the window, and you're like trying to run for your life. And while you're crawling out the window, and he's walking down the stairs, he sees you, and then he kills you. Because otherwise, if I told him the truth, if I was just like, yes, Steven is here, and you would have been gone and out the window. You would have been saved. So it's like, in a sense, like me lying is like I'm responsible for your death, because like if I just said the truth, you'd be out the window and gone, So it's like, I know that's kind of an extreme take, but I don't know. I think it's a thought experiment everybody likes. It's kind of funny, to think about. Yeah, but anyway, as simple as it is, I kind of like Cyclops' approach. I like he's like if you're a general, you want a million Cyclopsi. What's the plural of Cyclops?
You got me.
You want every single one of your squads to have a Cyclops in it, because he's your fucking man. He's gonna get shit done. But with that being said, I'll give him a C plus.
C plus. Okay.
C plus. Dragon Ball Z character. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna say he's Trunks.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna say Trunks, because Trunks has the mission. He's like, we must destroy the androids. Like, that's it. Like, forget all your honor code. Like, oh, I'm a warrior. Blah blah. This
whatever squabbles you have.
Yeah. Forget about all of that crap. Like, I bet Trunks, I bet he went back to like home with Bulma, and he's like, dude, your friends are retards, bro. They're all dumb. Because he's like, hey, this is gonna happen. You're all gonna die. The world's gonna come to an end. Handle it. And then they're all like, he has to see his dad Vegeta like, I'm gonna fight one-on-one. They're all fighting one-on-one. Like, dude, like when he comes, like Piccolo's fighting like 20 by himself. He's like, dude, what are you guys doing? Jump him. Like, kill this guy. And then Vegeta lets him oh my god, like Vegeta lets the androids go. Goku gives Cell a sensu bean. It's just like, good god, these guys are dumb.
Well, they don't have the foresight that Trunks does.
I mean, he told them, but
it's one thing telling a person, and that's another one experiencing it, though, I feel.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is absolutely true. Because I remember
he's like, you guys are all dead in the future. You understand that?
Yeah. No, because there's one scene, and I forget where it happened exactly. I want to say it was in the Cell games, and I think it's the part where Cell, like Goku, like messes up Cell pretty bad, and I think Trunks is like, dude, let's all go get him. Like, let's destroy him. Let's put him to an end. And the Vegeta is like, shut up, boy. Where's your honor? Where and like it's like the first time like Vegeta actually compliments the other Z fighters. He's like, look at them. They're warriors. They won't do that. And you look and you see like Piccolo and you see like Tien, and they're all just like standing there like no, this is a fair fight, you know? And like basically Trunks is just like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, you know? Yeah, because Trunks never really chose to be a fighter. He just like had to be one, you know. Whereas like all
He's
the
forced
rest of
to.
them, they're all yeah, like everybody else, even Krillin, like they're all like lifelong martial artists. Like this is what they chose to do, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'd say Trunks just because he's just like he's a man on a mission. He's there to fucking help everybody do the right thing, and he doesn't stray away from that goal ever, even though everybody around him is like fucking up. Trunks is like, yeah. So I'd say Trunks, and of course Cyclops, Patriot.
He's got to be a patriot. He's got to
He's
be.
a patriot. He's a patriot.
All right. Next up on our list of X-Men, we have Wolverine.
Wolverine, a man torn, very self-centered, forgets his past, doesn't even know who he is. Everybody loves Wolverine. What philosophy would Wolverine have? He's got to survive. I just got to survive, buddy. I don't know. I don't know what philosophy I would say Wolverine subscribes to because he feels very like he's gonna do whatever it takes. He's not Machiavellian because he's not like vindictive or anything. It just feels like he's like I'm here to fucking make it through life and whatever. That's what he feels like to me. Yeah, so I mean, to say he's like a philosophical character is like, I mean, in a way, he's like a very deep. I don't want to say like philosophical, but like I want to say like, for lack of a better word, like a very deep literary character. Like he
Mm.
like this character, like he's a very deep like this guy who forgot his past, who's like on this path, who's like trying to join. Like there's very like strong themes with Wolverine, but I don't know how like philosophical they are. I mean, you could say like like what is your place, like what is your meaning, like where do you belong in life, and like almost I'd say he's almost like existentialist in a way,
Mm.
like yeah, you know what, there you go. I'd say he's got like the existential like dilemma. It's like trying to find this meaning, trying to build this meaning, and yeah, I mean I love Wolverine just like everybody else does. Like
Hmm.
that guy's cool as hell, bro. He's so cool, but we're judging him philosophically. Yeah, I'd say he's an existential character, probably. Depth and how much I like it. Wolverine. You know what? I'm gonna piss people off. D plus.
D plus.
D plus. He's not that deep. Fuck Wolverine, actually. Dragon Ball Z characters. You gotta go Piccolo. I'd say. In the sense of, I mean, I kind of want to go Vegeta, but I feel like he's not as nasty as Vegeta. You know? Yeah, I feel like he's more of a stoic type. Even though yeah, so he's like early Piccolo. He's like Piccolo before he fuses with Nail. Like, cause
Mm.
like Piccolo, like he's kind of like joins Goku reluctantly to fight Raditz. He follow. He loves Gohan, gives his life for him. I feel like it's kind of similar. Obviously, it's not a mentor or student role. It's more of a love. Like he falls in love with Jean Grey, and like so he's like he'll do things for Jean Grey, but he himself, he's kind of just like I'm here, like I'm with you guys, whatever. Like I feel like that's basically Piccolo until he fuses with Nail. And like if you see Piccolo in the movies, he's kind of like that. Like he does his own thing, like whatever. Like in Tree of Might, like they all show up together. Piccolo's just like hanging, like like watching from a
Both kind
distance.
of an outcast in a way.
Exactly. They're both outcasts. They're both like do it their own way. They both have kind of an attitude, like a fucking like like this kind of like like they're almost like miserable, but they're both cool as fuck. So I'd say he's very much like early Piccolo for sure. Piccolo until he fuses with Kami for sure. Because like once Piccolo fuses with Kami, he's just kind of like now he's like an enlightened good guy, Yeah, but then until he fuses with Kami, he's kind of like a gritty fucking he's a menace. Really, is what he is.
Almost like
Like
a
he's like.
Rorschach as well
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
Watchmen.
big time. Yeah, yeah. That's another one. We should
That's
get
another
into
one, yeah.
those are some very evidently philosophical characters. The ones from Watchmen, like clearly, we
Hmm.
should rank them like yeah. But they're already like well known like philosophical characters. All of them. Yeah. But anyway, I'd say he's Piccolo and Wolverine. What is Wolverine? Eugenicist.
A eugenicist.
I mean, he does have what is it? That antimony? I don't know.
Whatever
That
he's got
steel.
going on in there,
Yeah,
he's
skeleton.
nigh indestructible and he heals quick. He's definitely got
That's right.
some stem cell baby stem cells going through his veins.
Oh yeah, he's not. Yeah, eugenicist.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the next X-Men we have is Nightcrawler, your favorite.
Boy, I love Nightcrawler. I absolutely love Nightcrawler. He's Thomas Aquinas, baby. He is. He is the moral. He's like the moral foundation for the X-Men team. Just always, just like a good, forgiving guy. Always gets himself into a little trouble. It seems like in the series, but it's not his fault. Yeah, no, he's a hardcore Christian. Yeah, he actually helped Wolverine a lot in that old cartoon from the '90s. Like he's always like giving Wolverine advice, like telling him, like helping him cope with his reality. I remember there's like a scene, you probably see it like on social media that I see it pop up. It's like Mystique is like, canonically it's Nightcrawler's mother, and she's like, "You're a mistake. Like you're like I should have never had you." And he's like, "Mother, like no matter what you say, like I love you and I forgive you for everything you've ever done." He just completely just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's just like, oh, Nightcrawler's the fucking man. Yeah, so I'd say he's like a deep philosophical character, and as far as his philosophy goes, even though I myself am not a Christian, I do admire it a lot, and I'm gonna give him, you know what? I'm gonna give Nightcrawler a fucking A.
An A? Very nice.
I'm giving him an A. Dragon Ball Z, who is Nightcrawler? He's the good guy. He is like, you know what? I'm gonna say Nightcrawler is. I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna say this is like disrespectful, but I don't mean it disrespectfully. I'm gonna say he's Krillin.
Mm.
Because Krillin, I know everyone's like he's a bitch, and he's always like complaining. But Krillin is always there, like always there
Mm.
for the team. Like, and Krillin risks his life like again and again and again for his friends. He's like the guy you can count on always. Like he's always going to be there for you, you know. And I think Nightcrawler's that guy. Like he's like Krillin, just always there. Maybe not the most strong. He's not the most powerful X Men. He can like teleport, but yeah, I'd say he's like Krillin in that
Mm-hmm.
sense. And ironically, vampire. Look at that motherfucker. He looks like a goddamn vampire with sharp ass teeth.
You
He's a
can't have a
vampire.
name Nightcrawler without being associated with
If I
vampiric
open my
rights.
door, if I open my door and Nightcrawler will stand out there, I go, vampire.
All right, next X-Men character we have is Professor X, the man himself.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious. Okay, Professor X, a very philosophical character. I think everybody knows that. Has a profound vision of how mutants should live harmoniously with humans, and I think you and I have talked about this. He's kind of like people theorize that he's basically like supposed to be Martin Luther King, essentially. You know, like during the civil rights era when it was like blacks and whites can live together harmoniously. He's basically like mutants and humans can live together harmoniously. I was talking to my friend who's like he knows a lot more about comic books than I do, and he was actually saying Professor X is a little bit of a sly character, a little bit of like he does like sneaky things for his goal. It's not underneath him to make certain moves in order for his vision to be complete. Yeah, but to
He's a
say he's
puppet
not a
master. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, this whole thing, like the academy, the mutant, like what is it, the academy for
Gifted
gifted people
freaks?
or
No, I'm
whatever.
joking.
Yeah, yeah, no, like that's all his vision, like the academy, the team, the mission, the goal. That's all him. Like X-Men is him. Like that's all he's doing. All that's his ideas put to reality.
Well, the team's named
So
after him.
oh yeah,
It's
that's
the
right.
X-Men.
That's right. Yeah. So like yeah, no. So like to say he's a very like yeah philosophically he's a very deep character. You know what I would say philosophically? What idea he aligns with? Although if you want to write it, if you disagree with this, put it in the comments, please, please do, because I'm going to say he's a utilitarian. And a utilitarian essentially believes in like the greater good for the most amount. Like that is how we define good. So it's like, you got 10 people and like, it's going to help 10 people versus it's going to hurt one person. Then you go with that. Like, it's kind of like a very like, just like the like define good. I mean, it's kind of tricky because then you have to define good too. But like, so let's say we do define good. It's like, can we have that good for more people than less people? And if that's it, whatever decision that is, then that's the best decision to make. And you see that like decisions made in politics all the time. Like I remember
Mm.
I got a ticket when I was like 17 years old. I got a ticket for like driving my friends because like at that time you weren't allowed to, like, if you're 17 and you haven't had a license for 6 months, You're not allowed to drive people because statistically speaking, you're lesser of a driver given by, evidence of collisions or some shit. But I remember thinking like, what the hell? Like you infringe my rights for the greater good of everybody else. What I remember like thinking that as like a kid. It's like that's no fair. I thought freedom is freedom. But it's like, well, freedom is freedom if it helps the more people. And I'm like, what the? That's one. That's probably a poor example, but that's just one that came to mind. But we make decisions like that all the time. Like where we're gonna build certain things. Like is this gonna affect? Oh, we'll build it out here because it only affect a few people, but we'll build this. Some sort of plant that causes pollution. We can't do it in the city because there's too many people. It's going to affect them. So we make decisions like that all the time. I'd say Professor X is utilitarian because he's trying to, the greater good of everybody. That's how he's looking at things. I'm going to give Professor X because of his depth. He gets a high grade, but I don't really like his philosophy. I think it's kind of whack. I think he's overrated. I'm going to give him a C.
Wow, it's a big drop.
He's a C. Yeah. And as far as Dragon Ball Z characters go, what do you think, Steven? Oh, you know what? I had a very clear one, but now I kind of have a second one. Okay, I'm going to go with this. This is actually better. Because I asked you because I was like, it's so obvious. But it's actually not obvious because I thought of a better one. At first, I was going to say Master Roshi. But I changed my mind. Kami. Kami's, he's the guardian of the earth. Kind of what he says goes, really. He trains Goku, trains them all to face the Saiyans. It's like he is like the true leader. Like, even though Master Roshi, he's their master and he is their guide, I will say he's the clear second best choice. But I feel like Kami has like a very like this is how things are going to be. Once Kami comes in the picture in late Dragon Ball, like he's the leader now. It's not Roshi. Like he like supersedes Roshi like pretty quick in that like leadership role. Yeah. So I'll say he's Kami. And Professor Xavier, a scared man.
He's a scared man, everybody. My goodness. Okay, fair. All right. We have two left. The next X-Men character is Magneto.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Did Magneto do anything wrong ever? Truly. He's the supervillain, the main antagonist to the X-Men, our heroes. But did he do anything wrong, truly? Magneto. Yeah, a very, another deeply philosophical character. Him and Professor X were once best friends. Spend, years talking telepathically about their visions, their ideas, and then they split. And Magneto decides, he says, you know what? Human beings, they hate us. They try to kill us every chance they got. But us mutants, we are the Ubermensch. We are the next level. We are the evolution of humanity. And we're going to embrace that to its fullest. And we don't even need the humans. We don't need them. What philosophy would Magneto be? Oh my goodness. He's like Nietzsche, man. Getting that stronger, power. We will overcome. Like, yeah, he's very Nietzschean. Yeah, I would say he's very, very Nietzsche. And yeah, as far as what I think about his idea, I mean, if I was a mutant, I'd probably be on Magneto's side.
Of course, right?
I'd be like, bro, like these guys are trying to kill me all the time, dude. What? I don't need them. Like, fuck them. Oh man, I gave Professor X a C. I'm gonna give Magneto. Oh, here we go. B plus.
B plus.
Yeah, because he is a little deranged and he is very like spiteful. I feel like you got to keep that in check, a bit. Yeah. There's a lot of anger in him that I feel like he needs to chill out on. Maybe needs to read Seneca's On Anger a little bit. Chill the fuck out. I'm not saying he'll change that much, but, wouldn't hurt. And of course, he's Frieza.
He's Frieza, yeah.
He's got to be Frieza.
He's got that vibe.
He's got a Frieza vibe, just an articulate, intelligent, supervillain. That's it. I feel like that's, he even floats around like him all fucking.
It's true, huh?
All proper with that like posture. Yeah. It's like I feel like they kind of conduct themselves in a similar manner. Yeah. And as far as the Alex Jones rankings go, representing Team Mutant, nationalist.
Nationalist. That makes perfect sense.
Nationalist. For the mutant nation, absolute nationalist.
Absolute.
Mm-hmm.
And our last X-Men character, he's been a big topic of our discussion today. We've got Apocalypse.
Oh, buddy. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. The thing is, oh, man, I should have. I'm sorry, I didn't do any research before we started this podcast. But because I know Apocalypse has an ideology, and I'm not like 100% sure what that ideology is. But I'm gonna just talk as if I know. Okay, I'm just gonna talk as if I'm an expert on it. I know everything about Apocalypse. Forget negate everything I said prior. I am the resident Apocalypse expert. I've decided. No, but as far as okay, that like his whole goal of becoming God, like once again, that's a fascinating concept. But then also what his vision is, I believe his vision is to rule as a god, and he's very like Fight Club esque. Like he wants that like primal world, like everything to go back to like how it once was. It's like you're basically like living like a primal lifestyle, and he's like the god above that. Okay, I'll admit I'm pretty sure that's that's his motive, but I'm not actually 100% sure. I guess it depends on what piece of media because I never watched the Apocalypse movie either. But I'm pretty sure that's his goal, to be this god ruling over this primitive world where everybody goes back to their like basic necessities. Yeah, because I mean that was the whole thing in Fight Club. It's like our world. We built up this like artificial world where it has like just like consumer society with like no vision, no like nothing great. We're just like these like cogs in this consumer machine. That's it. And I think Apocalypse is like, fuck that. I'm going to be the god in this primal world of meaning and battles and violence and, the survival of the fittest, the strongest. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to go. Is Apocalypse, is he like an uber? He's like a Nietzsche guy too, kind of. Kind of like almost like an anarchist in a way, I'd say. Yeah, but he builds his wisdom to like an extreme level so that he can rule over everybody. He is a bad guy after all. It's not like he like grew this wisdom and then all of a sudden he's like, let me
Let me
help
help.
you. No, he's like, I'm the strongest motherfucker. Like I'm the god. You guys are under me. He's like very like, yeah, like I'm here. You're all here. Like make no mistake about it. About that. Yeah. So I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna give him a like. He's interesting. I'm gonna give him A+.
Hmm.
Yeah. How much I subscribe to it? Maybe that's less. Maybe I have to knock him down because of that. Ah, fuck it. A+. He's interesting. And as far as my goodness, as far as Dragon Ball Z characters go, I don't watch Dragon Ball Super, so you might be able to help me out with this. There's Barris, the god of destruction,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's what's his name, Weiss
Whis?
or
Yeah.
Whis? Yeah, Whis is like even stronger than him. I think he's got to be Whis, right?
Hmm. I mean, I feel like Whis' philosophy probably wouldn't align too much with Apocalypse then. I feel like
Okay,
I was thinking
you
more
go.
like I was thinking Cell. I think he's like Cell.
Cell. Okay. The perfect, you know
The
what? Cell
perfect
is better
form
because he's the
Cell, yeah.
perfect being. And Cell thinks of himself as like, I am better than
I mean,
everybody.
he holds the tournament. He's like, somebody try to beat me. You can't.
That Cell is way better. You're right. Yeah. Because I don't know anything about Whis other than he's like ultra powerful. Yeah. Because when Cell was on top, he was on top too. Like, he was like unstoppable. Yeah. And he was created through technology. He's a biological android, is what he is. And it's like kind of what? In a way, like Apocalypse is a human, he's biology, but he's like infused with technology. Yeah. No, Cell is perfect. You're right. Yeah, definitely Cell. And as far as the Alex Jones ranking goes, you go ahead. You rank him.
Moses. No, I'm joking.
Moses.
I think, I'm leaning towards eugenesis
You.
because of the idea the might makes right. This is the natural order of things and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's solid. Eugenesis.